New hair, who this, what's up, it's Roro. This is episode 2, pinned to submission, the Payback premium live event recap. We'll do a little Raw recap also. I haven't watched SmackDown, so we can't do that, but let's go, episode 2, boom. So I got my hair done. As we can see, I look a little bit different. I'll tell you right now, it totally gives me Valhalla vibes. Like, unpopular opinion, I like her. Like, I like Sarah Logan. She's an amazing wrestler, and I love that she came back with the Viking Raiders, and she has her hair dreaded, and I freaking love her. So my hair gives me Valhalla vibes, because it's like exactly the same as hers, too. It's not why I did it. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but still, I totally get Valhalla vibes when I do this haircut. I love it. So we had WWE Premium Live Event Payback just over a week ago, and it was a pretty good premium live event. I'd give it like, I'll just say it was, to me, it was better than SummerSlam. I liked it better. We'll go into kind of what my predictions were and what really happened and kind of the matches, and then we'll do a little bit of Raw as well. So here we go. First match, we had Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a steel cage match. I definitely picked Becky Lynch to win this one. It started off, we had what's her name, Tiff Stratton from NXT in the crowd. A lot of people were saying that Tiff may interrupt the match, or at least cause Becky the match, because they're kind of starting their own little mini feud now. So I don't know. It is what it is. I just miss when steel cage matches back in the day used to be the only way you could win was via escaping the cage. None of this pinfall, none of this submission shit. It was all either up over the cage or through the doors. And sometimes you couldn't even go through the doors. They had that shit locked. I miss those days. WWE, bring those days back. It was a good match, though. I mean, Zoe Stark came out, kind of did some interference. I like at the end, Zoe Stark turned on Trish, because now that's going to give kind of Zoe Stark her stardom, I guess, because she just got called up to the main roster. But it'll kind of let it continue without Trish. So it was a good match. I like that it started. I didn't think it would start since it was a steel cage match, but it did, so that's cool. Then we had John Cena and his little promo. It is what it is. He came out, talked, whatever. I like that The Miz came out too, kind of built into that next match with LA Knight and The Miz, and Cena made himself the referee, which was alright. I'm not a fan of The Miz. I don't know how many people are, and if you are, I'm sorry, but I'm not a fan of The Miz. He's just annoying to me. It is what it is. I love that the crowd chanted for LA Knight and then turned it into a tiny balls chant for The Miz. WWE was recently, like, back in June, maybe like May-ish, I don't remember, it was sometime earlier this year, here in my hometown, and The Miz was there, and he was, did his intro, went to grab the mic to start his promo, and I started the tiny balls chant. I was so happy because I started screaming it, a couple people around me got into it, and then everyone got into it, and he looked like right at me when I started saying it. He's like, I don't have tiny balls. So I love it. I mean, I don't like The Miz, but like making fun of him is fun. There was a lot of fighting outside of the ring for this one. This match should have been on Raw or SmackDown. Like, I don't think this match should have been a premium live event match. I get that they have those matches all the time where it was matches that just shouldn't be on there, but they could have taken this match off and put the Gunther and Chad Gable match on here. That would have been better. Is if they put this one on Raw or SmackDown, put Chad Gable and Gunther on this one. And it would have worked, but I get why they put Chad Gable and Gunther on Raw, but still, it is what it is. All I gotta say is Cena, man, like, when people are going that bald, men are going that bald, they usually just shave it all off. Like, you're getting to that point, dude. I get it's because you need it for the movies, but I think once you're done with that shit, just shave it all off. Shave it all off. I've done that. I've shaved all my hair off. It's freeing sometimes. Like, the bald is beautiful. Then we had, and I picked LA Knight for that last match, by the way. The next match was Ray versus Austin Theory for the US belt. My prediction this one was for Ray as well. He won, so it worked out. I have a thing with Ray and his masks, because I mean, I know why he has his masks. I'm not like bashing that. I just love that on some of his masks, on the strap it says mask, and I'm like, dude, we know what it is. Like, do you forget what these are? Do you need to know what these are, dude? I was kind of sad this mask didn't say that. I liked all the whole black, like everything was black. The mask was black. His gear was black. But Ray is kind of showing his age, and I think it's getting close for Ray to retire. Maybe not retire, but slow down. He's getting up there. He's a Hall of Famer. I think maybe after this U.S. title belt, maybe he should start slowing down. He's still capable. He's still capable of a lot of good wrestling. I mean, he did that under the rope tornado DDT, super slick. Like, it couldn't have been planned out better. I'm so proud of him. But I think Ray needs to kind of start slowing down. It was a good match, but I think they're gonna give Ray this belt for a while, and then I don't know. I think maybe that's where we're going to see LA Knight is in the U.S. belt contention. So, it is what it is. We had a little bit of a backstage promo with Becky Lynch and Tiff, which kind of led into the match we're getting here in a few days on NXT with them fighting each other. If Beck wins that match, she'll be Grand Slam, which will be nice. But it just was a quick thing to lead up to the next match, which everyone knows I'm a Judgment Day fan, and I will ride with Judgment Day till the end of day. But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest for the belt. I picked Kevin and Sami. I have my reasoning though. Don't judge me. I have my reasoning. Finn and Damian have been kind of not on the same page lately. Giving that, like, maybe we're gonna have the Judgment Day breakup, maybe we're not, like, vibes. But Rhea said right beforehand, like the night before, a couple days before, if we don't all walk out with belts, there's gonna be changes made. And to me, that was like, okay, they may not win this match, but Damian has the Money in the Bank, and so he'll cash in later in the night. And then that'll leave Finn with nothing. And we know Finn and JD have been doing their thing, and so I thought that's how it was going to lead up with it. I'm glad they won the match, though. It was, I would say, the match of the night, and a match of the year candidate. Damian Priest is in 2, arguably 3 match of the year candidates right now. He is doing so freaking amazing, and I'm here for it. I'm here for his push and anything and everything WWE is going to give him, and he deserves it. But the match was amazing. I loved the match. It was so, it was a street fight match, and it had that 100% street fight vibe and just mentality. Kendo sticks, chairs, buckets, towels, lots of chairs, tables, trash cans. I would like to say though, like with wrestling groups, like, yeah, the Judgment Day's a faction, but wrestling tag teams usually get music together. Randy Orton and Riddle, completely separate, got together. They fused their music together. It was an amazing theme song. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are still kind of coming out to their own. Arguably, Kevin Owens is coming out, then Sami Zayn comes out to his, and they walk up to Sami Zayn's. And I get it, Sami Zayn is so well over with the crowd and with the fans. They just need to do something with their music together. And I think it would probably vibe really well. But we'll see how that goes. Like I said, lots of chairs. Kevin Owens with the Terry Funk shirt on, which made sense because he's, hardcore and he did a lot of those matches. And so this was a really good match. Dom interfered. JD interfered. Mommy interfered. Arguably it was like 7 people in the match. It was Judgment Day and JD 5 versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. One thing I think it's funny about Dom is he always is in his ring gear, no matter what. He's just there. He's there to wrestle. He's just there to be there. He's only there for promos. He's there to be mommy's side piece. He's always in his gear. And if you don't notice it, you'll probably start noticing it now. Because, like, if Rhea's not wrestling, she's in jeans and a tank top. Or, you know, whatever. But she's not always in her gear. Dom is. And I don't know if it's, like, how he was trained. Ray said always be prepared. And he took it like, I'm always going to be in my ring gear. But I think it's funny. We saw Kevin Owens get cut open. We saw JD pulling Damian from the pin. I'm still not too sure about JD, though. Like, I get it. Finn trained JD. They are friends in real life. But let's not bring that through the Judgment Day. I think the Judgment Day is doing good with 4 members. Maybe have JD as like a alternate side piece member. I don't know. I don't know. I think I love Mommy Rhea spearing Kevin Owens. That's like she's what she's gone after 8 men now. I want to say. Riddle. She's Tozawa. She fought Tozawa. She's gone after men, and she's fucking badass, and she can do it. I love her gear. We'll talk about that during her match, though. I love that Judgment Day won this because that gave Finn the Grand Slam. So now he's Grand Slam Finn. But like I said, I thought they were gonna lose, and then that made me think, well, if they're winning, what's gonna happen later with the Money in the Bank? And we'll discuss that here in a few moments too. But I'm so glad they won. I'm so glad they won. Next, it transitioned into the potty break. I mean, Grayson Waller with Cody Rhodes. I like that Cody Rhodes came out and said he pulled all his strings or whatever, and he saw something that he didn't like, and he, excuse me, he saw something he didn't like, and he pulled his strings, and all of a sudden Jey Uso comes out, and now Jay's on Raw. Splits the twins up, which is cool. We all know Jey Uso really didn't quit. I thought he was going to take a break for months, and then that would lead to the feud for him and his brother starting WrestleMania season, kind of like what they were saying. But I kind of like that he's on Raw, because I think that may give him, I don't think main title picture, but definitely a good independent wrestler, maybe even dethroning Gunther. I don't... If anyone should have dethroned Gunther, it would have been either Sheamus or Drew McIntyre, but we won't get into that thought. But I like that he's on Raw. It's going to be a good new addition. And that brings us into the Rhea versus Raquel match. Like I said earlier, I love Rhea's gear as a throwback to Chyna. Chyna does not get the credit she deserves. She 100% deserves that solo. I will say it again, solo Hall of Fame induction. Some people will argue she's in there with DX and that's how she became a wrestler and yada yada yada. Yeah, she did. But when she was out of DX, she did so much for the women's wrestling world. It is unbelievable. I can get into a whole podcast on why Chyna deserves to be in the Hall of Fame solo, and maybe I will, but not this one. I just love, though, like I said, that Rhea's gear was literally Chyna's gear that Chyna's wore in the past. And people are saying, is Rhea the next Chyna? Which could be a good argument, because, again, Chyna fought men. Rhea can fight men. But I just love her gear. I also love Rhea's wrestling style. Women's wrestling style in general. And how vocal they are. We've gotten times where we can hear Rhea like scream, and I think she got hit by Liv Morgan one day and went ow. And this one, when Raquel went to pick her up, you heard, oh shit. I just love the way she is. She got cut open. She didn't really get cut open. I think her nose ring got pulled out because it was like bleeding from her nose, and she did lose her nose ring and her septum. She did put them back in afterwards. She's truly living up to that Rhea Bloody Ripley name that she goes by, because she's Australian, and, you know, Rhea Bloody Ripley. I love she got the Prism Lock on Raquel. I love that they finally got her against Raquel, because they're not only talking about how they're friends in real life, or they were friends in real life, but Raquel's taller. And so it's not just some, like, short, squishy, like, small person who can fight Rhea, and Rhea's going to dominate them. Because we all know Rhea's tall. She's 5'9". Raquel's taller. And so when she got the prism lock in, it was interesting to see it on someone who's taller, because Rhea's usually dominating with that, and that's when someone taps right away, but she didn't with Raquel. Raquel didn't tap. Tom comes in and tries interfering like always. Raquel slams him down. It was I hate to say this, but it was a slow match, and but it was worthy of being on the premium live event, and we all know Rhea retains, and that's who I picked, obviously. And we know that Rhea's gonna hold the belt probably at least until Mania. They've talked about it, so we'll see how this week goes, because Rhea has another fight against Raquel without Dom being able to interfere, but they said without Dom. That's the key word, without Dom, but we'll go into that later. After that match, though, we had the main event with Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. There's a few things in this match that kind of make me wonder and make me think. We'll start off, though, like, I love Shinsuke's like video package beforehand, like the anime style, just because he's from Japan, and it was perfect for him. I love that he was working with Seth's back. I probably am going to get flack for this, but I understand Seth's injury is real, but I think they're overselling how real it is. Like, I don't doubt he's hurt. He has broken discs or whatever it is, and it hurts him. But now with this feud, it's like over-exaggerated. Ow, everything. He's been injured for this long, and we've never seen this much of a emphasis on that back injury. So I think they're kind of overselling it. Like I said, I don't doubt it doesn't hurt, but they're kind of overselling it. It was a good match, some back and forth. Who was it? Was it Corey? Was it Death by 1,000 paper cuts? Like, I wasn't a big Corey Graves fan as a commentator, but he's growing on me, and some of the things he says, it's funny. It was a good match. I think, I don't know. I picked Seth to win it, but I also picked Seth to win with Damian cashing in afterwards. And so when Seth kept trying to get the stomp in, and it kept getting, Shinsuke kept turning it, and Shinsuke got a lot of good matches or good fight in. It ended kind of quickly, because like all of a sudden, boom, Seth stomped and Seth won. And then Seth's laying there, and I'm sitting there going, okay, is Damian going to cash in? Because I thought for sure he would cash in if he lost the title match. But then you saw Shinsuke walking around the ring, and I went, no, because usually when there's a good cash in, both of them are down. But I kept going, come on, Damian, cash in, because I really want Damian to win the main title. And then it just kind of went off of air. It just ended the show. And I was like, maybe Damian will cash in Monday. Maybe they'll wait. Like, at least everyone walked out with belts, right? I know afterwards, after everything went off air, Shinsuke attacked Seth, and for a while there was fan videos of it, and then WWE posted a video out of it, and I went, okay, WWE posted a video, it's definitely storyline, obviously, and this is how they're going to continue their feud. So their feud will be going for a little while. I don't know who's going to win in the end. I think maybe Shin will win in the end. I hope Shin wins and gets the belt, but then I hope they don't screw him over with then Damian cashes in right away, because then Shin will only be champion for like a day or however long, and that's it. I don't like when they give these people who deserve the belt short reigns. So maybe Shin doesn't win. Maybe Seth wins the feud in the end. Damian cash in. Damian has it for a while. Then Shin gets it. It is what it is. It was a really good pay-per-view. Like I said, a lot better. I think it was a lot better than SummerSlam. SummerSlam kind of fell flat for me this year. But it was a pretty good one, I would say. And then most of my predictions were right. Like I said, I predicted Seth to win. I predicted Damian to cash in, but he didn't. I just didn't predict the champion one right. So it was a good one. I liked the pay-per-view. It's really funny that you can tell I've been a wrestling fan for a long time, because I call it a pay-per-view, and they're not pay-per-views anymore. They're premium live events. The Raw after was pretty good. I always expect the Raw after the pay-per-views to be something crazy and big, and sometimes they're not, but this one was an alright Raw after. Started the show with Jimmy, obviously, because we saw the night before, or 2 nights before. See, this shows how much of a wrestling fan they used to be on Sundays. We knew 2 nights before he got drafted to Raw, or he got transferred to Raw, whatever you want. I love that he's coming out as a babyface. I don't think he's really heel right now. But I like that he came through the crowd and main event Jey Uso. Then Sami Zayn comes out because we all know they had their thing and then didn't and did within the bloodline. I think it'll be interesting to see him on Raw. Like I said, I think they'll probably put him in a Gunther feud and maybe have him be the one that defeats Gunther. At the end, we know they start walking to the back, and that's when Drew McIntyre comes out, because it's Drew McIntyre with Riddle versus the Viking Raiders. But Drew comes out and stops and stares at Jey. And one thing that makes me laugh is my favorite wrestling fan, because yes, we all have wrestling fans. I love Green Shirt Guy, and we'll get into that. That'll be its own podcast. But little Josie. If you don't know who Josie is, she had a feud with Solo Sikoa at a house show earlier this year, I want to say. It was a big thing. Her mom, Cherry, recorded her heckling Solo. She was in the front row heckling Solo at a house show, and it made Solo, I'd say, break character, because Solo doesn't talk, and Solo started talking back to Josie. And they were there, and Josie and her mom were at the very back row of the floor. But you can see Josie and Cherry there, and they're big Drew McIntyre fans, so it was funny. But again, if you don't know who Josie is, I'm going to show you the video that kind of made her go viral, go famous, when she was, feuding with Solo. And I have permission, because Josie's a child, and I respect Josie as a child, and I respect Cherry as her mom. I have her permission to show this video for my podcast. So check this video out. You'll see who Josie is, and we'll talk about it here in a few moments. That's Josie, and we love Josie. Big Drew McIntyre fans, and like I said, this next match was Drew McIntyre and Riddle versus the Viking Raiders. They need to give Drew McIntyre like a singles run and give him what he deserves. He deserves a championship. Like I said, if anyone were to dethrone Gunther, it should have been Drew or Sheamus. But it wasn't. And it kind of bugs. And we'll talk about the whole Gunther thing later. The fact that they're putting him with Riddle, I think they don't know what to do with Riddle. And so they're just throwing him in tag teams and tag teams and tag teams. And Drew just came back, so I went with Drew. Like I said earlier, I'm a big Valhalla fan. So I love that she's back and she's with the Viking Raiders and with her husband, because she's literally a Viking in real life. Like, her and her husband do Viking shit and LARPing and stuff. And so I love that they're letting her be herself. Kofi comes out in the match and tries to help. Riddle got through a table. It was a pretty good match. They just need to push Drew McIntyre and give him what he deserves. He deserves to be pushed. Who knows? Maybe it'll be Drew versus Seth. They need to give Drew what he deserves. That led into the Seth Rollins promo, though, right afterwards, with Shinsuke coming out, and that's where, like, I thought it was funny, because, so, Seth Rollins comes out, stands there and lets the crowd sing his praise, and I love that they're kind of, like, cutting him on that, because he did that feud with Finn Balor a while back, and stood there for, like, 5 minutes and let the crowd do that during a promo, and it bugged. And so I love that he did it and it went to commercial break, and then it came back and he was talking. And then they did Shinsuke coming out. I love that Shinsuke is speaking in his native Japanese language. I don't think he's very well. I don't think he can speak English that well. And so I love that they're letting him speak Japanese. But right where Shinsuke stopped, again, you get to see Josie. And you actually hear Josie yelling at Shinsuke. And I'm like, yes, this little girl gets everything she deserves. And that's why I wanted to show that video earlier, because if you go back and watch Raw, you'll kind of start hearing a little bit of Josie yelling at Shinsuke. And they just need to give Josie, like, they need to give Green Shirt Guy his own, like, wrestling character, or, like, in the crowd of WWE 2Ks is Green Shirt Guy. They need to do it for Josie, because, like, Josie heckling wrestlers is my favorite thing in the world. Josie, keep it up, please. Keep it up. Anytime you're out there, heckle whoever you want. We love you, girl. Please keep doing it. I love that this led to the Shinsuke versus Ricochet match. Ricochet's a good wrestler. He's a really good wrestler, don't get me wrong. I just don't think he should have been fighting Shinsuke, but I guess I get why he's doing it. The chair to Ricochet for the DQ, I get, because it was like Shinsuke's mad, and so he's just gonna do what he wants. I love that Seth came out and attacked Shinsuke after the match, but then again, they're also exploiting Seth's back injury. It is what it is. Raw wasn't the best, but again, like, it was a good Raw. We had a promo with Zoe Stark, then Shayna came out, started talking crap. Shayna is amazing. First of all, I'd like to personally thank Shayna for running Ronda out of WWE. I am not a Ronda Rousey fan, never was, never will be. It's not that I'm from New Mexico, and Holly Holmes kicked Ronda's freaking ass, and then Ronda started sucking and left UFC. I just don't like Ronda's attitude. So thank you, Shayna, thank you. But I think if they're trying to build Shayna as this badass, maybe they should put her in that Raquel and Rhea feud, or when that feud's over, put Rhea and Shayna together. That would be one I want to see. Judgment Day came out, did their promo. It was kind of promo heavy with Raw. Everyone was talking. Dom was getting booed. Part of me thinks those boos are still getting piped in, because I don't think it is as loud as it is. It wasn't that loud when they were here for the house show. But Damian goes to talk. JD comes out. JD gives Damian the new purple briefcase for Senior Money in the Bank. Just cool that they're giving that. I think it's JD's way of being like, hey, I'm still cool with you guys. Like, hello. Sami Zayn came out. They kind of started talking crap. It was a good promo. Then we got the build-up for the Shayna Baszler Zoe Stark match that they kind of teased beforehand. Right beforehand, though, we had Chelsea Green talking, and Adam Pearce dropped a bomb that scared everybody. Luckily, it's not as big as we thought it was, but saying Piper's not cleared to wrestle. I'm going to say it. Those women's tag belts are jinxed. Everyone's getting injured or hurt. Injured, hurt, sick, whatever. Glad that it got cleared up afterwards that Piper's just sick. I can't say just sick, but she's sick, and it's just like an illness she's working through, and she'll be back in a few weeks. Because when they said Piper's not cleared, everyone freaked out, because she just came back. So Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler were good. I like at the end of the match that they fist bumped and was like, okay, Zoe Stark's good. She's getting her push that she needs. I love afterwards they had Judgment Day in their own little Judgment Day lair, I say, with all of their shit around them, kind of like, they're the new Bloodline. They have to have their own little room. Talking about trying to get JD in the Judgment Day, and again, that's kind of, I'm not sure about that. Then they talked about, well, JD and Sammy are fighting, and we'll see how he does. You can tell, though, Rhea was, like, stressed out. She's just like, oh, my gosh, these boys. Like, if there's not a leader in Judgment Day, but if there was ever a question, we know it's Rhea. I love that after that, it led to Raquel versus Chelsea Green, because we all know that feud's still going with Raquel and Rhea. I would just like to say I think Samantha Irvin, the ring announcer, is amazing. The way she changes her tone, her voice for different wrestlers is the best. Like, she can be like, Raquel Rodriguez, or she was like, Sonya Deville, and then she's like, Chelsea Green. I love how she's Samantha Irvin's the best, and I just love the way she says Chelsea Green's name and a couple other people's names. Definitely a squash match with Raquel, but they're doing that to show that she is still pretty badass. I love that they made the match for Monday official with Raquel and Rhea, but Dom can't be at ringside because we all know he interferes. But they said Dom can't be at ringside. They didn't say anything about Judgment Day. And part of me thinks because JD is trying to show his worth to the Judgment Day, JD may can't come out on Monday. But we'll see how that is on the next episode. Then we had The Miz come out. Stupid promo. I'm not even going to get into it because, again, I don't like The Miz. Stupid promo with faking John Cena not being there, but he was there, whatever. Very promo heavy. Then it led to JD McDonough versus Sami Zayn. JD got the win. Normal match. Dom kind of tried coming out and helping out. It is what it is. I love that afterwards they showed Dom walking and kind of doing his own scouting for the Judgment Day, because we all know Dom's just there as Rhea's main squeeze. But he started talking to Jay like, hey, my family don't love me and your family don't love you, and Judgment Day's our family. Like, I think it may lead to a feud, but I just think it's funny he tried reaching out to that. And lastly, it was Baby Shark time. Gunther time. Sorry, his music, Imperium, Baby Shark, every single time. Versus Chad Gable. That's another one Samantha Irvin does good on. When she says it, it sounds like she's like, Chad Gable, like she does her nose. Again, it wouldn't be Chad Gable dethroning Gunther. Like, if Chad Gable dethroned Gunther, a lot of people probably would have been mad, because Chad Gable's good, but it should be someone else. I knew Gunther was gonna win, which kind of bugs me because I'm a big Honky Tonk Man fan. And now Gunther's the longest Intercontinental Champion, like, dethroned that record. I don't know what it is with Triple H in this new, like, Triple H era. He's letting a lot of these like history making, like, longest reigns of this and this and this get broken. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, the Usos now being the longest reigning tag team champions, were champions, but champions taking over the New Day reign. Now Gunther taking over Honky Tonk Man's reign. Roman Reigns overtaking a bunch of reigns. I think we need to stick with the old school stuff. Keep the reigns from the old schools the way it is, because that's when wrestling was true. Yeah, wrestling is fake and it is what it is, but, like, some of the older reigns were real. Like, I'm the best and I want to show it. So I don't like that Triple H is breaking these reigns. I was kind of surprised at the end when Gunther won there wasn't, like, pyro and stuff. But then again, I was like, well, yeah, but Gunther's not, like, he's, the ring general. He's serious, so I get why there wasn't. And then part of me went, wait a moment, is Damian Priest going to cash out now? Is he going to cash out and take this from him, for the Intercontinental belt from him? And I thought, no, the way Damian Priest is getting built, he's not going to do that. It would have been cool though. So yeah, that was Raw. Very promo heavy, some good matches. I didn't watch SmackDown, like I said. I'm gonna watch it probably tonight or tomorrow, so that'll kind of be whatever it is. But it was a good weekend in wrestling. We'll see how this next couple of weeks go with the build up for the next Premium Live event. And we will talk about the next event eventually. Next podcast will probably be next week or 2 weeks. Every week to every 2 weeks. I may also do different podcasts about wrestlers. Like I said, I can do a whole damn podcast about why China deserves to be in the Hall of Fame solo, and isn't. But it was a good match. It was a good weekend. Raw was good. Payback was amazing, and we'll see how the rest of the month goes. That was episode 2. Hope you guys like it. Thank you for my new subscribers, by the way. I know a couple reached out to me on Twitter and was like, hey, can I have your link? I want to watch. And I'm like, thank you. So you guys are, expanding this podcast. Obviously, this podcast is a part of my husband's YouTube channel. Thank you for the new subscribes. And if you message me on Twitter and be like, hey, I love your podcast, I'll shout you out. So let's see how this goes. Peace.